Hello everyone, welcome to Academic Gain Tutorials. In today's video, we're going to discuss basic concepts of accounting. We will understand what accounting is, why accounting is needed, how the accounting process works, what financial statements are, the 5 elements of accounting, and the basic concepts of debit and credit. This lecture is specially designed for Class 11 students, BCom students, and CA Foundation aspirants, including those who come from a non-commerce background. The concepts will be explained in a simple, practical, and logical manner. So make sure you watch this video till the end, because understanding these fundamentals will make all future accounting topics much easier. Let's begin. First of all, let us understand what accounting actually means. In every business organization, hundreds and thousands of financial transactions take place every day. Whenever a business buys goods, sells products, pays salaries, receives cash, pays rent, or purchases machinery, financial data is generated. The role of accounting is to record this financial data properly. However, accounting is not limited to recording only. After recording the transactions, the accountant classifies them into appropriate categories and then summarizes them into a meaningful format. Why is this necessary? Because different users such as management, shareholders, investors, creditors, banks, employees, and government authorities need financial information to make important decisions. Therefore, accounting can be defined as the process of recording, classifying, and summarizing financial transactions into meaningful information for decision-making purposes. The summarized information is generally presented through number 1, profit and loss account, and number 2, balance sheet. The profit and loss account shows the financial performance of the business, while the balance sheet shows the financial position of the business. This is the basic purpose of accounting. Now, let us understand the accounting process. The accounting process follows a systematic sequence. Step 1. Source documents. Every transaction must have supporting evidence. Examples include bills, receipts, invoices, vouchers, payment slips. These documents are called source documents. Without source documents, accounting entries should not be recorded. Step 2. Journal entry. Using source documents, transactions are first recorded in the journal. This process is known as journalizing. Step 3. Ledger accounts. After journal entries are prepared, they are transferred to ledger accounts. This process is called posting. Step 4. Trial balance. Balances from all ledger accounts are collected and summarized into a trial balance. The trial balance helps verify whether debit balances and credit balances are equal. Step 5. Financial statements. Finally, financial statements are prepared. These include profit and loss account, balance sheet, cash flow statement, statement of changes in equity. The process from source documents to trial balance is generally called bookkeeping. 5 elements of financial statements. Now, let us discuss the most important concept in accounting. The entire accounting system revolves around only 5 elements. These 5 elements are assets, expenses, liabilities, equity, or capital, revenue, or income. There is nothing beyond these 5 elements. Balance sheet elements: assets, liabilities, equity. These appear in the balance sheet. Profit and loss elements: revenue, expenses. These appear in the profit and loss account. Now, let us understand each element in detail. An asset is a resource controlled by an entity as a result of past events and from which future economic benefits are expected to flow to the entity. In simple words, an asset is anything that is controlled by the business, will provide future benefits. Examples: cash, machinery, buildings, furniture, vehicles, computers. The important point is not ownership alone. Even if a business controls an asset through a lease agreement, it may still be recognized as an asset. Future economic benefits mean the asset will help the business earn income in the future. For example, machinery helps produce goods, which are later sold to generate revenue. Therefore, machinery is an asset. Now, let us understand expenses. An expense is the cost incurred by a business to generate revenue and from which no further benefit is expected. Examples include rent, salaries, electricity, bills, telephone charges, insurance expense. The key difference between an asset and an expense is future benefit. Assets provide future benefits. Expenses have already provided their benefit. For example, When you pay rent at the end of the month, you have already used the premises during that month. No additional benefit remains. Therefore, rent is an expense. Similarly, salary paid to workers represents payment for work already completed. Hence, salary is also an expense. Now, let us discuss liabilities. A liability is a present obligation of an entity to transfer an economic resource as a result of past events. In simple terms, liability means a financial obligation. Examples: bank loan creditors' outstanding expenses debentures. Suppose you purchase goods on credit. You receive the goods today, but promise to pay later. Now you have an obligation to pay money in the future. That obligation is called a liability. The creditor has a claim against the assets of the business until payment is made. Therefore, liabilities represent claims of outsiders on the assets of the business. Now, let us understand equity or capital. Capital refers to the amount invested by the owner in the business. In sole proprietorships and partnerships, we generally use the word capital. In companies, ownership is divided into shares, so we use the term equity. Technically, equity is defined as the residual interest in the assets of the entity after deducting all liabilities. In simple words, equity equals to assets minus liabilities. Owners receive whatever remains after all liabilities have been paid. Therefore, equity is called residual interest. Liability holders have the first claim on assets. Owners have the remaining claim. Revenue refers to the inflow of economic benefits into the business. Examples include sales, revenue, service, revenue, interest, income, commission, income, rent, received, dividend income. Revenue is generated from the normal operations of a business. Whenever the business sells goods or provides services, revenue is earned. Revenue increases the wealth of the business. Now, let us understand these concepts practically. Suppose you start a business with capital of 100,000 Indian rupees. The balance sheet will look like this. Liabilities side. Capital equals 100,000 Indian rupees. Asset side. Cash equals 100,000 Indian rupees. The cash is an asset because it is controlled by the business and provides future benefits. The capital represents the owner's claim on those assets. Now suppose the business purchases machinery worth 20,000 Indian rupees using cash. The balance sheet becomes assets. Cash equals 80,000 Indian rupees. Machinery equals 20,000 Indian rupees. Both cash and machinery are assets because they provide future economic benefits. Now suppose the business obtains a bank loan of 40,000 Indian rupees. Two effects occur immediately. Asset increases. Cash increases by 40,000 Indian rupees. Liability increases. Bank loan liability of 40,000 Indian rupees is created. This demonstrates that every transaction affects at least two accounts. This leads us to the concept of double entry. Accounting follows the double entry system. Every transaction has two effects. Both effects must be recorded. One side is called debit. The other side is called credit. These terms do not mean good or bad. They do not always mean plus or minus. They simply represent the two aspects of every transaction. For example, when a bank loan is received, cash increases, bank loan increases. Two effects occur simultaneously. Therefore, accounting records both aspects. This is called the double entry system. Now, let us understand the nature of balances. Debit balance accounts assets expenses. These normally carry debit balances. To increase them, debit them. To decrease them, credit them. Credit balance accounts liabilities, equity, revenue. These normally carry credit balances. To increase them, credit them. To decrease them, debit them. In accounting, every account has a normal balance that determines whether increases are recorded as debits or credits. Assets increase with a debit because they represent resources owned by the business. Expenses increase with a debit because they represent costs incurred in earning revenue. Liabilities increase with a credit because they represent obligations owed by the business to outsiders. Capital increases with a credit because it represents the owner's claim or investment in the business. Revenue increases with a credit because it increases the owner's equity and reflects earnings generated by the business. A simple way to remember this rule is that assets and expenses normally have debit balances, while liabilities, capital, and revenue normally have credit balances. These rules form the foundation of the double entry system and help ensure that accounting records remain accurate and balanced. Let us quickly revise what we learned today. We understood. Meaning of accounting process 5 elements of financial statements: asset, expense, liability, equity, or capital, revenue, practical balance sheet, example, double entry system, debit, and credit rules. These concepts form the foundation of accounting and are extremely important for Class 11, B.Com, and CA Foundation students. In the next lecture, we will learn how to pass journal entries, prepare ledger accounts, and understand accounting transactions in detail. If this lecture was helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.